firefighters, ambulance, etc. Describe the scene as best you can. Give the operator your name and contact information. And be sure to hang up last. Do not hang up before the operator. A reminder from the Adair County E911 Center about making a 911 call. Celebrating a birthday or anniversary? WAIN wants to hear from you. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking. Weekday mornings at around 7:20 on McKinney in the Morning. Call or text anytime. 270-384-2134. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking at 2339 Campbellsville Road, Columbia.
Weather forecasts with current temperatures from trained weatherology meteorologists. We've got you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, only on WAIN.
Lows around 56. Tonight, under cloudy skies, south winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy tomorrow, 76. Lows around 55 tomorrow night. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 69.
CBS Sports Radio 1270 AM and 1019 FM WAIN. Columbia, Kentucky, the exclusive home of Lindsey Wilson Athletics.
You're listening to 93.5 Hot Country, Columbia, Kentucky, home of Lindsey Wilson Athletics that captured the 2015-16 Learfield Directors Cup.
3 important games coming up for Lindsey Wilson, and Scott and John Shelley joins us now. Welcome, John.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I think I woke him up. No, actually, I was sitting on my couch, shell-shocked that the Phillies got beat in both games 6 and 7 at home. I'm just sitting there like in awe.
Well, that was last night.
I know.
You've been sitting there all day long?
All day thinking about it. Yeah, how can this happen?
you got to find something else to do. Well, we want to welcome those folks who are listening in Lithuania. Czechoslovakia. Where's Paraguay?
The UK recruit that they can get me. Where's he from?
All those countries that John says in our opening that's listing, the 3 or 4 countries, and I'm sure it'll be 3 or 4 different more next week.
Hello, everyone. Or it could be like at my house. We don't buy the junk food for a diabetic like me to eat. So it was so convenient.
So who buys it for you then?
So it's so convenient, Scott, so just don't have it.
You find it somewhere, right?
There's something else to keep in mind if you're wagering on the game this weekend, because now that's legal in Kentucky. Last year,
now that it's legal.
Yeah, let me tell you, you're talking about the country store. Let me tell you, I don't have to tell it right now about the horse I ran, the first horse I started at Mountaineer Park. I kind of leaked some information that we thought we would win in several countries and 50 states. So all this money comes in on this horse, and my trainer's like, "Who did you tell?" And we really got let down.
Oh, no.
We ran bad.
Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Sports Talk Live and Local, sponsored by J&S Auto Sales, alongside John Shelley. We've got Scott Bennett on the phone with us. Austin Armstrong, our producer. I'm Chris Wells. We finally got a new intro. Thank you so much for that, Austin. We were sitting here laughing the entire time. We have a good time with this and with this show and with the intro, of course. We come to you live now each Monday. How long is it going to take me to get that in my head? I'm excited about Monday.
For me to get my alarm set, so hey, I got to go to the station on Monday now.
Yeah, one of the reasons that we did this is because we want to talk about stuff that happened on the weekend and it be fresher in our minds. I mean, we're kind of getting old, John.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea.
I mean, Scott's not getting old, but you and I are getting old.
I know it is a great idea though. Nobody wants to read 3-day on this.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Read it today.
That's right. We come to you live on 1270 AM 101.9.
Uruguay, I might want to read
That's right. That's right. 101.9 FM CBS Sports Radio. Our sponsors are J&S Auto Sales, of course. Our title sponsor, Lindsey Wilson College United Citizens Bank, TJ Regional Health, and Hot Prints. You can follow us live on Facebook at WAIN 101.9 FM and on YouTube at WAIN Radio. And we archive these thanks to the fine work of one Austin Bennett. Well, lots to talk about. Unfortunately, we start with Adair County and their season come to an end. But boy, it was a great season, John. Let's start first talk about the Union County game, and then I'd like to kind of talk about the season as a whole. So let's start with Union.
Adair County gets the first possession. Of course, we're at Morganfield at Union. March it down, first and goal on the 5. Really looking promising with no kicker. Adair goes for it on 4th down, turns it over on downs. Union scores, goes 95 yards and scores. Adair gets it back, they score. So it's 7-6, and very similar to what happened in Hart County. Union County scores a touchdown, a 32-yard touchdown with 1.4 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
It was I called it on the radio a blown coverage. It looked like, Scott, you can add to this, it looked like we're in a zone defense, and Johnson scrambled out of the pocket, and we lost a guy in the back of the end zone. He was wide open, and I thought that was a huge momentum killer because Union got the ball to start the third quarter as well, and they came out and took advantage of that. But as far as between the 20s, I'm going to go over the stats here. I thought Adair County moved the ball just as well as Union County. A very competitive game. 28-6 was the final.
And you don't see that many, Scott. You don't see too many times when a one seed out of one district and a 4 seed out of the other plays a competitive game like that.
No, and I'm not mistaken. That was the most competitive game of anybody in the state of 1 versus the 4. But like John said, going back to that touchdown right before the half, I mean, the kid for Union County, the receiver, done a very mature thing. He stopped. I mean, he stopped right in the middle of that zone with nobody around him. Instead of the quarterback was scrambling out to his left, so instead of following the quarterback, he just settled right there in the middle of the end zone, and all our defensive backs went with where the quarterback was going. And like John said, that was a backbreaker there. Because they didn't get the ball back in the second half.
A friend of mine shared with me, Chris, to elaborate on your point, that we were the only game that was not a running clock Friday night.
Wow.
And he named 16 games, 15 running clocks. And we weren't.
In the 1-4 matchup?
Yeah, I think so.
And one of those is a 4 seed over a 1 seed running clock.
That was Caverna. Actually, Caverna got beat by, help me, Scott, who beat Caverna? Bethlehem, Bardstown Bethlehem. But that was a 4 over a 1. But
I talked a couple weeks or last week with the whole Lindsay Georgetown game where it comes down to a couple plays. It sounds like, if Adair could have punched that in on their first drive, if they don't give up the touchdown at the very end, sounds like this game could have went to different.
Yeah.
At least be a lot closer.
Yeah, and in the third quarter, Adair County ran a 24-yard touchdown. It was called back via holding call. And then there was another call. Scott, I found this out later that the Union County radio or TV said that Solomon Stonebreaker's foot was inbounds on the 2-point conversion.
Oh, I know that it was.
It was a situation, and it didn't end up mattering. It was a situation where the official followed the ball. Our quarterback was rolling out to the right, so the back judge ended up on that side of the field. He throws it all the way back to the left corner of the end zone against the grain, and Solomon, we thought he was in, and the guy really looked unsure of his mechanics and his call, but he ruled him out of bounds. But not that it mattered, but that touchdown was called back by holding was a big momentum swing because it ended up being 2nd and 20, and we ended up turning it over on down. So
could have cut it to a 1-score game at the time. I think it was 22-6. If we could have got that in the 2-point conversion, we could have made it 22-14 and made it one score game, made it a little more interesting anyway.
But looking at the numbers, Lane Grant had a huge game on the ground, 26 rushes for 155 yards, so right at 6 and change per carry. He was the only Adair County player to run the football. No tailbacks or slot backs carried it. He was 8 for 22 through the air for 94 yards. Of course, Timmy Streba led the way on defense, had 11 tackles. And then, of course, we previewed Johnson for Union County, Jaron Johnson. And we said they'd thrown it. They were 29 for 58 for the season coming into that game. But they did throw it 14 times, which was unusually high for them. 7 for 14 for 127. He ran it 14 for 103. Pretty much, Scott, I thought we did a decent job on him. I mean, it wasn't like...
Yeah, and that 103, 25 or 26 that was on that touchdown run at the end of the game. I mean, I think we done a great job defensively to force them to throw the ball 14 times. They don't want to throw it that many times. But we done a great job for the most part, I thought, getting them out of nobody all year has made them pass the ball. I mean, I thought we did a good job of doing that, and we forced them into some passing situations. Credit to them, they got it done. I mean, that one little receiver just lit us up.
Yeah, they had a couple guys here catching the ball. Duncan Mills is who Scott's referring to.
Yeah,
5 catches for 98 yards, 30 rushes for 204. So they averaged less than 7 yards a carry, and held them way below what they had been achieving. So. I think if you talk to Coach Stonebreaker, he would tell you that it was a really competitive game. I would say he thought his kids played really hard, and then of course, not to make excuses, but had the event that happened with the player who lost his father, and the funeral was Monday. Of course, we played Friday night, and Malin Koblenz, he didn't get to play, and condolences are out to his family if you're listening. But that was a hard swallow. That was having to go through that, and then it was an accident. It was an accident that his father that passed away, but having to deal with that, and then also losing a starter that you had to put somebody else in there right before the playoffs probably had a little bit to do with. But I think probably, Scott, and I've been a part of being a coach when you have a situation like that. I think probably the kids would say they dedicated their effort toward Malin as being a teammate. 'Cause you don't want to ever guarantee stuff because you never know you can win or lose. But their effort I thought was great, and I know they had him in the back of their minds while they were playing.
I have no qualms whatsoever about the effort of that game. I mean, the effort of that game showed. I mean, it was. Like I said, 28-6 was not. It wasn't a 28-6 game. I mean, it was maybe a 2-score game for the most part. I mean, they scored there late. And, it was a very competitive game. I mean, we made Union County have a win, so that's all I can ask for. Leaving out that night, he had held high as a fan and as a father, so that's how they represent themselves.
Chris, we got time to go over a few more scores.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got any more on there?
I was just going to say how things might have been different if Adair could have pulled off one of those upsets during the regular season against Franklin Simpson or Hart or Glasgow. If they'd won one of those games, how much different everything could have turned out, because you're gonna mention, I'm sure, the other 3 teams in our district all won, and if Adair's playing anybody else other than Union, you just never know.
They're going to be favored. Yeah, I don't know if they would be favored. Yeah, Hart County, huge win, 43-8 over Webster. Franklin Simpson 35-8 over Hancock, and then Glasgow put up 62 points on McLean County, won 62-38, and so that sets up.
The only game that was competitive for a little while. I mean, actually, McLean County was leading that game at halftime.
Yes.
And that was Glasgow just took it through in the second half. But
So you got
I'll
Glass.
go ahead and say it, John. You might not agree with me, but I'll just go ahead and say it. I will be surprised if Union County beats Franklin Simpson. I think Franklin Simpson's the better team.
I do too. Yeah.
Just from seeing them. I mean, I think the one thing Franklin Simpson can do that we couldn't do is they can match them athletically as far as quickness-wise.
Yeah. They got their fullback back too.
Yeah,
Been
yeah.
that part of the year. That sets up Chris Glasgow at Hart.
That'd be a barn burner right there.
Franklin Simpson at Union. So two good games. And I'm always lobbying for the field goal. Metcalf with a field goal with 2 seconds to go to take Washington into overtime. And then they beat Washington 26-20 in overtime.
Watched the end of that one on the way home.
Yeah, games of local interest. Taylor County defeats Letcher County Central 50-13. Casey County falls to Louisville Central, and Greene County demolishes Fort Knox 65-6. So I just made some notes there for the show. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I think if we play, Chris, anybody other than Union, I think we probably win the first round.
7-4 is the final record of this Adair County 2023 season. Your thoughts overall, now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of digest the season? I got to think massive success. I mean, obviously you want to go deeper and deeper and deeper, but massive success?
Yeah, I think the kids were put in situations to succeed. I think Coach Stonebraker, that's him and his staff, I should say, put kids in positions on the field where they were comfortable and they played well together. I thought our offensive line was one of our strong points. Our defensive line, I thought, played a little better early in the season. Of course, our schedule got tougher, so therefore they would give up a few more later. And then secondary, of course, not playing Lane in the secondary most of the year. He had to play him the other night some, but held together. Aiden Smith had a big year at safety. I thought their linebackers were solid. Their defensive front four at times were good. I just thought they were put in positions to be able to succeed. I hope we can go out and find a kicker next year. There's been a lot of situations.
John's will have to go to the hallways and then recruit a kicker out of the hallways.
Well, let me give you an example. We're in that first drive. We're 4th and goal from the 5, so it's basically an extra point. So to get on the board, if you had a kicker there, things could have changed. I mean, how many times do we see this year, Scott, when an extra point or a less than a 25-yard field goal? I would say in high school, past 35 is a it's probably taking a shot, but an extra point up to 25 yards, maybe we can find somebody, but hopefully we can put that on the radar. Plus, not being able to kick the ball deep, we were giving teams the ball at the 40-yard line pretty much all year, so we were giving up a lot of field position.
Scott, your thoughts on the season?
I think it was a success. I mean, going into it, just looking at the schedule, I thought 7-3 regular season. But the one good thing that I saw was I'll take the second half of the Glasgow game. That was really the only time we weren't competitive all year. I thought we had a let down there in the second half of that ball game. And but other than that, I thought we were very competitive in every game. I mean, took Franklin Simpson right down the wire. Took the first and second place teams both really. I mean, the Clark County game ended up double digits, but it was a really close game. So I'm just careful with it, and hope they can continue that success into the off season and into next year.
John or Scott, either one, talk a little bit about next year. I know you guys know what Adair County is losing. Where's the things that they're going to have to work on going in for the 2024 season?
Scott, I'll let you go first on that one.
No, they all their skill positions are back except for Dakota Morris, the running back. He's a running back I would say probably 50% of the carries besides, I'm not talking about Lane, but him and Ryder Rogers probably split the carries other than Lane. The big thing to me is you've got 3 offensive linemen that are graduating, and that had multiple years of experience. And you got some, from everything I've understood, some young linemen that they were really high on. They all, I hope they had them to make that freshman and sophomore jump and really get in the weight room. And they got some potential there. Just having a year into that offense is going to help tremendously. And you got, you're turning Lane Grant, and I wish we had better records for the school, but I just figured a few minutes ago, I mean, Lane had 3,099 yards of total offense this year between passing and rushing. That's got to be a school record. I can't think of anybody that will be close to that in total yardage. And I'm hoping that somebody might take that on one of these days to do some figuring and get school records in all the sports, because I don't think I went back. I go back just from me playing and me watching, and I can actually remember people into about the mid 80s, and football wasn't around but 13 more years than that, and they didn't pass the ball that thing either. So I don't see how anybody's even close to that. To me, Chance Melton was the best quarterback we ever had, but Chance didn't rush the ball that often. He just threw the ball from him, that type of thing. But he had a lot of weapons around him, and he could just hand it off to him, that type of thing. But I think they'll have no successor here. It'll be the same schedule, except for they won't play Bethel. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they may play Marion County over there in that Cooper's Bowl thing. If they play Bethel in this year, but other than that, it'll be the same schedule, just opposite home and away games.
John, your thoughts on next year?
I just think that, Lane and Solomon were dynamic together. We saw Jaden Miller start to really come on late in the year. It's that next guy. Aiden Smith's back. Aiden just really is a great anticipator. He can anticipate. He's a good receiver. I think if we find a kicker, add a couple, linemen, and maybe get a tailback to take. And again, you got Ryder coming back, so taking nothing away from him, but to take a little bit of load off Lane, and I think it could be as good as this year, no doubt.
Now, one other thing we'll have to replace some I think our top three leading tacklers all graduate. Tim Streeble, linebacker, and then Blake White and Javez Taylor, defensive line. I think they all graduate. So that's going to be somebody who has to step up in those positions and fill in those. So I think they got some good young players. I think they'll be fine. I wouldn't predict, just going into it, I wouldn't think they would have a worse record. I'm not saying they'll have a better record this year, because those other three teams in our district are really good. The one thing Hart County loses, what had John, 22 seniors or something like that, something outrageous.
Yeah.
They will be down next year, and I don't know what Butler County will come back, but Glasgow's sophomore classes is loaded, so they'll all be juniors next year, and they all played a lot this year. So they got a chance to pick up a Hart County win, especially that being at home, and so maybe they can improve on the record.
7-4, the final record for Adair County football. We're 3 weeks out, just completely changing over to basketball for a minute. We're 3 weeks out from basketball, and I know you just finished the football season, so you got to get the juices flowing a little bit, or actually get to rest a little bit before you get the juices flowing a little bit, but basketball's right around the corner.
Yeah, for sure. And Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, Meet the Indians night tonight at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock out at the gym, so if you're sitting around wanting something to do, you go out and meet the club, meet the guys, and
now what does that mean? What does Meet the Indians mean?
I think it's an inter squad. They just
the boys are having an inter squad. The girls are actually playing against some alumni. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Well, I know what alumni means, but I'm not sure if it's I don't think they'll probably be playing against a bunch of 40-year-olds. I'm not sure how many alumni there are out there that'll be back for the scrimmage tonight. But I haven't heard that much about the girls team, but they retired everybody from last year, so you'd think that they should have some experience, obviously, returning. But I've been hearing a lot of good things about the boys team. They've done a few scrimmages and inter-squads and things like that. And they'll have their full complement starting tonight with Lane and Solomon joining the team. It'll be interesting to see. Coach Breeze really toughened the schedule up this year. They might not win a few games they did last year, but they could be better than they were last year, too.
First game for Adair County basketball is actually 3 weeks from tonight on November 27th. I think that's 3 weeks from tonight. They go on the road at Boyle County, and the girls open up a day later on the 28th at home against Cumberland County.
That Boyle County game 3 weeks from tonight. And John knows this from last year. If Boyle County football team gets upset, I think that'd be a totally different basketball game than if they are still playing.
By the way, before we end our first segment, what was on the docket as far as the meal on the way to?
Glad you asked that, Chris.
Yeah.
Old Hickory Barbecue in Owensboro. It's an old local joint. Scott and Ty done their homework, and appreciate that. We stopped by. I had the combination platter with ribs, brisket, and half a chicken. Baked beans.
Is this pregame?
Yes. Well, this was really early pregame. What, Scott? 2:30ish, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we left a little early.
Yeah. Been down there probably an hour and a half before the game started. So
We ended up at Academy Sports. We had an hour to kill and did a little shopping for myself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did anybody's wife anything, Chris?
All right, that's going to do our first segment. We're going to step away for a couple minutes, let our sponsors do their thing, and when we come back, we'll talk a little Lindsey Wilson athletics. It is a jam-packed world right now in Lindsey athletics. We're back in a minute. This is J&S Auto Sales Sports Talk Live and Local.
This is Matt Lloyd with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
Do you have a business? Are you running for an office? Maybe you've just got a kid in sports. No matter what you've got going on in your life, Hot Print Screen Printing and Embroidery's got a service or product you need. We've got a large selection of pre-printed items available in our storefront that you can just walk in and buy anytime, including Adair County Indian shirts, Adair County band shirts, and Columbia, Kentucky apparel. So come on by and check out all the great services and products available at Hot Print Screen Printing and Embroidery, or call us anytime Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Let us put our experience to work for you.
Have you injured yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery. Whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries, our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first. Team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
Let J&S Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosales.ky.org. J&S Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Fork Broadcasting Columbia always loves to hear from you. Send us a message on the J&S Auto Sales text line anytime, 270-384-2134.
Get ready for an exciting event. Let 'em Fly 3D Archery is gearing up for their grand opening coming soon. Join them for guided tours, music, refreshments, and much more. Discover all about their memberships and don't forget to explore their pro shop stocked with top-notch gear. Stay tuned for the big day because Let 'em Fly 3D Archery is about to take your archery experience to a whole new level. Be sure to visit their Facebook page, Let 'em Fly LLC, to stay up to date on what's to come.
Welcome back to J&S Auto Sales Sports Talk Live and Local. Our sponsors, United Citizens Bank, Hot Prince, TJ Regional Health, Lindsey Wilson College. Our title sponsor is J&S Auto Sales. Well, it is, it is so busy up on the hill right now at Lindsey Wilson. Our men's soccer team won the regular season. I think we mentioned that last week, 11-2-3. They will be the top seed in the Mid-South Conference Tournament, which the Blue Raiders will host beginning this Wednesday. Actually, the tournament's already started. They played the quarterfinal matchups over the weekend, or Friday or Saturday, and then the semifinals are Wednesday, the finals on Friday. Lindsey Wilson will play the 4-seed Bethel University team that they've beaten already this season 1-0. John, get your thoughts on this for a moment. Lindsey Wilson, the 1 seed, since there's 7 teams in the conference, they didn't have to play a quarterfinal match. They got to rest. What's your thought on a physical, high-energy game like soccer, where you're just running up and down the field 90 minutes? You want that rest, or would you rather play on Saturday and then turn around and play on Wednesday?
I think I'd rather turn around and play.
Really?
Especially if I'm in a good rhythm. Yeah. I want to play. So maybe they can simulate some kind of inter squad or something to simulate a. Because I would think at this point the guys are in shape.
Yep.
But when you sit that long, I would think it's more of a timing thing.
Yep.
Just my opinion.
The last game Lindsey Wilson played was a week ago today, actually. They played last Monday night. So it's going to be a full 8 or 9 or 10 days since they last played when they kick it off on Wednesday. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff. Lindsey Wilson will take on Bethel in the 1-4. At 4 o'clock that afternoon at Walter S. Ruling Stadium, University of the Cumberlands and Cumberland University will play one another. That's in the 2-3 matchup, and then the 2 winners will play Friday at 6 o'clock at Ruling Stadium. Of course, there's a little bit of weather chance in the area for I think Thursday and Friday, so we're actually going to paint lines on the football stadium, soccer lines on the stadium, just to be on the safe side, just make sure that we have a backup facility in case the rain prevents us from being on the natural turf. Again, that's Wednesday, 7 o'clock for that matchup. Women's soccer finished their season last week. They lost to Campbellsville 6-1. It was a tough season, 4-11-1. Really unprecedented. Lindsey Wilson is the worst record in the history of the program. I know Coach Burwash is eager to get back out on the recruiting trail and right what was a bunch of wrongs this year. And the girls played hard. It just didn't plan out for the women's soccer team this year. The men's and women's cross-country teams competed in the Mid-South Conference Championships on Friday. The men's team finished 3rd, but they did have a couple of guys finish in the top 10, and that earns them a right to the NAI National Championships. So Justin Stearns and Nolan Foshi will go on to national championships. I'm trying to think where that's at. I think that's maybe up in North Dakota or somewhere like that, but that's in a couple weeks. And the women's cross-country team finished in 4th. They did not have any individuals make the national tournament, so their season comes to a halt. And volleyball, 17-14 on the season. They won their last 3 matches of the year, and they will take on Bethel University, a team that they just beat last week. They'll take on them on Thursday. That is a noon start. They're playing down at the Bowling Green High School Gymnasium. Stoodles Arena is actually what it's called. They'll play at noon Central Time on Thursday, November the 9th. And if they win, they play the number 1 seed Campbellsville on Friday at 3 o'clock. Looking at a couple of other things, I want to save football for last. Head into some winter sports that are underway. Swimming, men's and women's swimming, both won their meets with Campbellsville and Union on Saturday, so congratulations to the swim team. And the men's wrestling team competed in the Patriot Open. I know you haven't been to a wrestling match yet. I'm going to get you up on the hill and at least to a duel. The Opens are completely different. They'll have like 4 or 5 mats, and they'll just send one match right after another on there. Sometimes you'll wrestle 5-6 times a day. I think the max is 6. I don't think you're allowed to wrestle any more than 6 matches. But Lindsey Wilson had a couple of wrestlers win their weight class, Connor Diamond and Nicholas Parabic. So congratulations to those guys for winning their opening meet of the season. And the men's and women's basketball teams both already in action this season. The men fell on Saturday 84-72 to Voorhees at home. They dropped to 1-2 on the season. They'll go up to Rio Grande this weekend, where they'll take on Indiana Kokomo and Rio in that classic. And the women's team won on Saturday night. They're now 2-0 on the season. They won at Johnson. They will step up big time in competition. They'll take on Providence, who's coming out from, let me think where they're from. They're either from Idaho or Utah or something. They're flying to Nashville to play in a classic hosted by Cumberland University. And the Blue Raiders will take on Providence on Friday. They'll take on Oakland City on Saturday in that Cumberland University Classic. Okay, we'll move on to football now. Lindsey Wilson improved to 7-2 on Saturday. 45-2 win over Cumberland University. Coach Daniel Cotter was the defensive coordinator for the Blue Raiders. Was really wanting that shutout. I know the guys were wanting to shut out. Unfortunately, we had an intentional grounding while we were standing in the end zone and ended up giving up a safety. But 45-2, big bounce back win over Cumberland University. A team that's kind of given us fits over the years, John. It's they like to. It's a ball control type offense. It's not quite. They don't pass a lot. It is ball control. It's not. What's the word I'm looking for? What does Dare County used to run? What's the type of offense that they used to run?
Wing T.
Wing T. It's not really that. It's more of a normal running game, but their quarterback likes to get outside the pocket, and he likes to improvise. He likes to, run whenever he wants to, and he's pretty darn good at it. But Lindsey Wilson did a good job. I think they came in ranked 4th in the country, Scott, in rushing, averaging like 240, 250 yards a game, and Lindsey Wilson held them to 104 or something like that. So that went a long way. And
a lot of those games over the years have come on you. And like you said, a lot of times they're closer than they need to be.
Cumberland U beat Lindsey Wilson back in 2019, I believe it was, and maybe it was 18, something like that. And it basically knocked the Blue Raiders out of the playoffs. They'd already lost the week before to Presbyterian College, which is a level up, NCAA level school, and then just couldn't bounce back and lost to Cumberland U, and ultimately that cost them going to the playoffs. But no issues this week. 45-2 win, guys. One of the most I wouldn't say it's an incredible play. It was just it's the only play that got me excited all day long, and I can get excited. Austin knows that on the radio. Cumberland did a good job in their defense. I think stopped Lindsey Wilson, or maybe it was a punt. I don't remember. But anyway, Cumberland had the football on their own 3-yard line, 2-yard line, something like that. Quarterback drops back, takes the snap, drops back, and throws it, trying to set up a wide receiver screen to his left, which was just closer to us on the sideline, and Lindsey's sideline. And Chevis Elliott, a redshirt freshman or sophomore corner, just reads it perfectly and dives. I mean, he just leaps in front of the receiver and catches it all in one motion and lands in the end zone for a pick six. And it was an unbelievable play. I know Anthony Latessa, our SID, sent it into NAI play plays of the week. I'm going to ask him to post it on the Lindsey Wilson football Twitter page, but it was a fantastic play. He also, during the game, with we kicked off to Cumberland U, they're returning it, and somebody knocks the ball out of the return guy's hands, and Chevis picks it up, scoop and score from about 25 yards out. So he ended up with 2 scores on Saturday. And he was named Defensive Player of the Week in the Mid-South Conference, and I just got the word a few minutes ago that he was named NAI Defensive Player of the Week. So congratulations to Chevis Elliott.
Not a bad day.
Do what?
Having a day right there.
That's having a day. Scott, big game this weekend. Lindsey Wilson goes on the road. They'll close out the regular season at Bethel, and Bethel is they moved up to 8th in the national poll. Lindsey Wilson is 11th in the poll. Scott, were you at the game last year when the Phantom turnover occurred and Bethel won and ultimately won the conference? Were you at that game?
I was not at it. I was watching it on the live stream.
So Bethel has the football. Yeah, Lindsey Wilson had the football, and there was a pass that was about it was across his body. It was across the quarterback's body, and it landed about 2 yards, maybe 3 yards. Let's call it 2.5 yards, just to be on the safe side, forward. And the referee said it was a lateral. We were inside our 15-yard line. Bethel scoops it up and runs it back for a touchdown, and we end up losing by 5 points. And Bethel won the conference title because of that win. Lindsey Wilson would love nothing more than exact a little revenge this coming Saturday. They'll go down to McKenzie, Tennessee, where, in fact, they've never lost. They're 4-0 down at McKenzie. They'll take on the Wildcats in a battle to basically who's going to finish second unless Campbellsville can upset Georgetown on Saturday. If Campbellsville can upset Georgetown, the winner of the Lindsey-Bethel game would be Mid-South Conference champions. So there's still a little bit to play for. But more importantly, if you win on Saturday, basically locks you into the playoffs. If you don't, then it's a little bit dodgy on whether you're going to get one of the automatic or one of the at-large bids or not. So a big game on Saturday with Lindsey Wilson and Bethel. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Central Time. We'll go on the air right here on 101.9, 1270 a.m. at 12:15 with our pregame show. So it's a big game on Saturday.
Yeah, good luck to the Blue Raiders.
Again, lots going on at Lindsey Wilson right now. Again, men's soccer will host the Mid-South Conference soccer tournament, semifinals on Wednesday, finals on Friday, and Lindsey Wilson football on the road this coming weekend down in Bethel. We'll have the game right here on WAIN. We're going to step away for a couple minutes. When we come back, we'll go statewide with some sports. This is the J&S Auto Sales Sports Talk Live and Local.
Let J&S Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosalesky.org. J&S Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Do you have a business? Are you running for an office? Maybe you've just got a kid in sports. No matter what you've got going on in your life, Hot Print Screen Printing and Embroidery's got a service or product you need. We've got a large selection of pre-printed items available in our storefront that you can just walk in and buy anytime, including Adair County Indian shirts, Adair County band shirts, and Columbia, Kentucky apparel. So come on by and check out all the great services and products available at Hot Print Screen Printing and Embroidery, or call us anytime Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Let us put our experience to work for you.
Have you injured yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery. Whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries, our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first, team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
Hi, This is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
This is Matt Lloyd with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Celebrating a birthday or anniversary? WAIN wants to hear from you. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking. Weekday mornings at around 7:20 on McKinney in the Morning. Call or text anytime. 270-384-2134. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking at 2339 Campbellsville Road, Columbia.
For a child battling a critical illness, a wish come true can be a turning point. Make-A-Wish needs your support to grant the wish of every eligible child. Learn more and help grant more life-changing wishes at wish.org.
Welcome back to J&S Auto Sales Sports Talk Live and Local. Our sponsors are Hot Prince, United Citizens Bank, Lindsey Wilson College, TJ Regional Health, and our title sponsor, J&S Auto Sales. Well, UK fans back on the bandwagon in football. Guys, Scott and I were concerned last week and maybe the week before that UK may not win another football game, but they were real impressive down to Mississippi State. I don't even think they played their best game, but Mississippi State obviously struggled greatly, and UK took advantage and won 24-3.
Yeah, I mean, I thought offensively that's two really back-to-back games for Devin Leary, where he was really productive in the pass game. I thought they ran it when they had to. Of course, they had the pick six. It was big. It kind of gave them it's almost like after it was 7-3, they get the pick six. It's a big sigh of relief. It's 14-3, and then their offense goes down and scores another impressive touchdown drive. And it kind of just, you could see it like, boy, I think if we're solid the rest of the game, we're good, because Mississippi State could not move the ball. And I thought the second half, there was a drop touchdown over in the corner of the end zone. On the play, Leary got hurt, but they ended up kicking a field goal and just cruised 24-3. Defense played well.
I was surprised, Scott, and I don't know why I was surprised, because it seems like Kentucky never wins at UK, but I was surprised, at Mississippi State, but I was surprised a little bit that Stoops has never won there, and I think he was surprised that he's never won there.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. I mean, it was the last time Rich Brooks was the last coach that won there, and I agree with everything Josh said, but the one thing, and I would suppose that Will Rogers was playing then, the quarterback that was hurt and didn't play, but how in the world did that team beat Arkansas? I know Arkansas is not great, but they were almost in the on offense.
7-3, I watched that game. They beat Arkansas 7-3. But that's the game they wanted to fire their coach, Arkansas.
UK hosts Alabama in their final game at Kroger Field of the season. 8 o'clock, it's a 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff up in Lexington. Either one of you give Kentucky a puncher's chance in this one?
I do. They opened up 10.5-point dog, I saw in Vegas. But Alabama's, Scott, would you agree? I wouldn't say they're one-dimensional, but they lean heavy on the run game. And, maybe Brad Smith can put together a game plan. Of course, LSU can't stop.
I hope Brad White came instead of Brad Smith.
Brad White, and Mark Stoops. But LSU can't stop anybody. So kind of throw that one out. Their defense is horrible. Alabama's going to give up some yards. I give them a punter's chance. I do.
Scott, what about you?
I think it'll be a 3-score game. I just don't. But they'll see that name or that number on the side of that helmet or whatever Alabama has there, and I just don't. Alabama's got a lot to play for right now. They're still in line to where they can make a playoff here. So they've got a lot to play for. And I'm like John though. The LSU don't have much of a defense, but that quarterback's playing well right now for Alabama.
I'm just curious if Roll Tide Willie from TikTok's going to show up. I'd like to go meet him, get his autograph.
U of L is 8-1 on the season. They dismantled Virginia Tech last week, 34-3. They're playing on Thursday night on ESPN against Virginia this week. They've got Vatech. I mean, they have Virginia this week, and then Miami the next week, and then I'm assuming, Scott, if they win out, that they will play in the ACC championship game. Is that correct? Do you know?
Yes, if they went out, they definitely will. And there's still a chance if they just win one of those games. They've got a chance at it. But if they win the last two, they're definitely in. And I mean, I knew going into it that, I mean, I didn't know how good they would be, and I'm still not sure how really good they are because they are terrible. But I think going in that they would be an 8 or 9 win team. They'll get that anyway.
Well, the thing about it, they beat somebody they weren't supposed to beat, which is no.
Yeah, but they lost somebody they probably shouldn't have either, though, too.
And then came back and beat a good Duke team. I just don't. I know they got two dynamic offensive players with Jamar Jordan, and Thrash, their wide receiver. But
neither one of those played Saturday. That was what they went so impressive about that.
Yeah, and their defense is not giving up anything. And Scott, I was looking at their roster on the defensive side of the ball. They got a bunch of Louisville kids on there.
Oh yeah.
From the city of Louisville. So they don't have a bunch of 4 and 5 stars. A football coach can make a difference, guys.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
He can.
I am so curious, and this isn't anything against Louisville. They're having a great season. I applaud them. I just don't know how good their schedule is. I just don't know. I mean, they caught Notre Dame in a perfect situation, and Notre Dame's had some good games, but they laid an egg against Clemson this week. I don't know how good Notre Dame is.
Not invincible.
No. And Duke is, I know they're better, but
Leonard.
That's exactly right. So I just don't know. They don't have to play Florida State, unless they have to play them in the ACC championship game. I'll be interested to see how they play against Miami down there next weekend. But I'm just still not sold on this. I'm sold on Braum. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic coach, and I think he's going to do great things at Louisville. I'm just not sold on this team yet. I don't know that they've played a tough enough schedule for me to go, okay, they should be in the national championship talks anyway. And normally at 8-1 in a Power 5 conference, you're in the talks. So I just don't know.
I think Plummer is a game manager, but he's had a couple of games where he's stepped it up a little bit. Yeah. I think he's a very smart player. He's not going to get you beat, but he's played really well.
Yeah. Well, they got Virginia this week. They got Miami next week, and then they play UK in the season finale, regular season finale, and then potentially on to the ACC championship game. So there's still lots for them to play for, and who knows? They could make a run at it. Michigan, Penn State this week, Miami, Florida State, Utah, Washington, Tennessee, and Missouri. That's going to be a good one.
Good one right there, yep.
Ole Miss and Georgia. Anybody want to buy tickets to that game?
Wow.
I just don't see Lane don't show up on a big game. It's that one year, get your popcorn ready and lay an egg there. I don't see Jim Hang with Georgia.
Did you see by any chance how high he threw his clipboard this weekend?
That was pretty impressive. Yeah.
I did not. No.
There's a video out there on social media. You need to go watch it because he threw his clipboard. I'm going to say it was on a touchdown pass, a long touchdown. I think it was a long touchdown pass. Anyway, it was a long touchdown, and he saw it. He was caught. I mean, his arms were up in the air before the ball was even completed, and when it was completed, he threw his Scott. What? It had to go 15, 20 feet in the air.
Oh, every bit of it. Yeah, every bit of it.
It was pretty impressive. So get out there on social media and watch that. USC and Oregon's the other, Michigan State, Ohio State. So there's some really good football games this week that's going to have some say in the poll.
Michigan. What's y'all's prediction?
What's going to happen with them?
With the whole.
Nothing this year.
You don't think they'll get them this year?
Nope. NCAA can't work that fast.
But the Big Ten can.
Maybe. You think the Big Ten is going to cost themselves that kind of amount of money?
Until after the Ohio State-Michigan game. See if Michigan wins that game, nothing will be done.
I don't think anything's going to be done this year because I think regardless of whether Michigan wins or loses that game, they're still going to be up for a massive payday with a bowl, potentially one of the playoff games. So I just don't see them doing anything this year. I just don't see the Big Ten turning down that money.
I love the interview with Central Michigan's coach, Jim McElwain. He's like, they're showing the guy's picture with the clipboard. He's like, we've checked all of our records, all our pass gates, we don't know who this guy is. I love it.
I love it too. Guys, UK basketball, U of L basketball opens up their regular seasons tonight. I got to think you guys will probably be tuning in.
Oh, yeah, Kentucky. I look for a big effort tonight. The program they're playing tonight is the program that canceled their season last year because of the gun investigation.
Hazing.
Yeah. So
New Mexico State.
I don't know, Scott. Rupp Arena. It'll be a big crowd in there tonight. They're a big favorite, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about watching to see how they show up. I mean, they should win this game, but we'll see how they. I was worried that this team would come in and just pile in a zone, and UK's not faced one. They had their last exhibition probably not to play a zone. But everything I understand, this coach for New Mexico State is a staunch man-to-man coach. But we'll see what there. Little update from the game going on right now. Purdue is squeaking by Stanford right now, 21-1.
Big game for Kenny Payne tonight.
Yeah,
I really do. I think it's a big game. UMBC not making light after the loss in the exhibition to the D3 Wesleyan, Kentucky Wesleyan. I think it's a big game for Kenny tonight. He's only like a 7 or 8 point favorite at home.
What's Maryland, Baltimore County's biggest? What are they known for?
Virginia, big Virginia.
They're the only 16 seed ever to beat a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament.
I remember that.
So last year, Fairleigh Dickinson beat Purdue last year.
Correct. I'm sorry. Yeah, the first. I should have said the first to do it. Yeah. New Mexico State. I was looking at their rosters. Looking at their roster before we come on the air. Every one of their significant players are transfers. I mean, everyone came out of the portal. Of course, they didn't have anyone left over from last year's roster that they basically fired the whole coaching staff, got rid of all the players and everything. But they even have a Western Kentucky transfer on there. I think he's their point guard. They even have a kid who was used to be at NAI school, Edward Waters. So I mean, they got transfers galore on that team. So it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out tonight. That's on the SEC Network. I think that tip is at 7:00 tonight. And as John mentioned, U of L, they're getting ready to tip off shortly against Maryland, Baltimore County. Guys, was it just the exhibition games? Is that what it was? Because I was watching some of the U of L Kentucky Wesleyan game and the UK. Who did they play last? Kentucky State, I believe.
Yeah.
And there was no one in the arena. Was it just because it was exhibition games?
I was bad. The UK game started so early. That was UK never has good crowd when they're not playing a good opponent. Those 6 p.m. games, 6 p.m. Eastern games like that, they don't draw anybody.
Yeah, it's. I hope there's a good crowd at both venues.
You know, I was reading Kenny last year on like last Friday invited all the students in for giveaways, and I think it was a scrimmage, and they only had 20 kids show up. Only had 20 students. Last year it was packed. I mean, a lot of giveaways, giving away tickets, money, but just the students didn't show up Friday for that.
Wow. All right, guys. Well, Scott, thanks for calling in. We'll see you back here next Monday night.
I hope so. Hopefully we'll be back next Monday. Got a cook kiddo, and I just don't want to be around y'all. Get that chance on getting you back to it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks to our sponsors, United Citizens Bank, TJ Regional Health, Hot Prints, Lindsey Wilson College, our title sponsor, as always, J&S Auto Sales. For Scott Bennett, John Shelley, and Austin Armstrong, I'm Chris Wells. This has been the J&S Auto Sales Sports Talk, live and local.